Alright, so we're going to talk about a method of gluing PLA parts together via what I call solvent welding. Now, before we even start any of this kind of discussion, safety first, please wear nitrile gloves, get yourself a proper respirator, do this outside if possible because this is toxic stuff. So kids, if you're watching this, please get your parents' permission before you start playing with this stuff because this is dangerous chemicals. The type of gluing that I do is called solvent welding, which is basically join two parts together with a solvent in between that melts the two materials together. So I found that this works great on PLA, ABS, I've used it on PETG. I haven't tried it on ASA, but I believe it works on ASA as well too. So previously I was using a product called 3D Gloop. Comes in a jar format and these sort of squeeze tubes, which is like kind of like a gel, thicker version. And it's a great product, but it's really expensive. And so no disrespect to them, I just use it so much that I needed more of it in a bulk form. So I did a little bit of research, just checking out what's on the label, and found out that the base ingredient is called methylene chloride. Now, you can actually get methylene chloride. I get this stuff from like a fiberglass sort of molding casting supply place, but a very similar product or chemical, I guess, that's used in it is used in a lot of the side grip or weld-on products. So it's basically very similar to a solvent that's used for gluing acrylics together. So I know that weld-on or side grip 3, number 6, which is more of a gel format, and then 16, which I don't have any here, but 16 is another one that's very similar to this. Another product that you can use is Plastruct plastic weld, and this is like a model making cement. It's very similar base product, and all of these work for solvent welding. Now, what this basically means is you're going to be preparing your parts like these two parts joined together like this. If you sand both surfaces and you spread some of it on one surface, spread it on another, put the parts together, and they'll sort of just barely hold in place. But then what you do is you use a paintbrush. Sometimes these bottles with the Plastruct plastic weld that comes with a little brush inside. You can also use a chip brush. These are kind of metal throwaway ones designed for chemicals. I'd be very careful when you use kind of art brushes, even cheap ones, because sometimes the solvent can start to melt the paint that they use on the outside of the brush. But basically you brush it on one surface, brush it on the other, put the parts together, and then as they kind of hold together, what you want to do is take the chemical and run a bead along the outside edge all the way around. And what it does is it actually melts the join together and joins them very, very strongly together. It's a very similar process that plumbers would use. When you join ABS or PVC pipes, you spread cement on one surface, on the other. You do sand the parts first, and then you join them together, and it basically melts together. So you have to work fairly quickly, but it's really, really strong. Like, I've solvent welded parts together before and use them in costume or prop things, drop the part, and it'll like totally break in another place, and it won't break where the seam was. So that's kind of how strong it is if you do it properly. I just want to talk very briefly about another method that you could use to apply it. A lot of model makers will use these sort of syringe squeeze bottles. So you could put your methylene chloride or your solvent in here, and you can run it along the seam like that. You got to be careful because I find there's some sort of reaction that happens where it's very, very cold, and this will start to like frost on the outside, and it'll start to freeze, and it can clog up the tip if you're rubbing it along the surface and you're getting debris on the end of the little needle tip there. So it's kind of, this is best for like really small detail work, but really a brush works great. So I will show you how this works. All right, so as discussed earlier, you're going to want to sand the contacting surfaces of your parts first. So you can use sandpaper or a sanding block and just scuff that up. And whether you're gluing with PLA whether you're gluing with CA glue or this kind of solvent method, you want to make sure you rough up that surface, all right? Because when you're just joining, it's gonna have a harder time melting this, okay? It's gonna be a lot easier if you can rough up that surface first, give it a bit of tooth. Also, if you happen to print your parts like this and you had a brim or supports or a raft, you want to make sure you remove any of that kind of material along the edge, because you might not be able to access it later. It might be more difficult. Also, it just kind of prevents the flow of the solvent from getting through. So yeah, sand the parts, clean off the edges, and then, you know, do it on both parts and you'll be ready to go. Okay, so now that we have our parts sanded, we're going to just take a bit of this methylene chloride. Now, I know that you'll see this bottle of Plastruct here, but I've basically refilled it with this gigantic can of methylene chloride, which I got from my local shop called Fibertech, and they're awesome. They always have really great service and information there, and it costs a lot less, right? So I think this little bottle of plastic weld, it was $10 Canadian, and I want to say this entire can over here was, I think, maybe like $15 or less than $20 for sure, and so it just makes a lot more sense. So here I'm just applying a liberal coat. Now you can see that it's evaporating really quickly, but what it's actually doing is it's slowly kind of melting that surface. So I'm going to do the same thing with this other side. Again, you can use a bigger brush if you want. You got to be careful not to like drip it all over. You don't want to get any of this like on the actual surface of your part because it can scar. Like I said, it is melting the plastic, so just be careful when you're applying it that you're not getting it on the surface of your printed part. Okay, so now that those two surfaces are done, I'm going to just join them together. So, you know, line up your parts. If you don't have keys or anything like that to align it, that's okay. You just do your best to like get it in position. And you'll find that if your part is smaller, you can actually, the solvent might be kind of like still wet enough that you can actually, it'll actually hold it in place. If not, just hold it in place as best as you can with your hands. Of course, you can tape your two parts together as well too, but hold it together as best as you can, and then we're going to run a bead of solvent along the edge, along the seam. Okay, so I'm just holding the parts together. I've done just a little bit of a drop on another part in the middle here just to kind of hold it together while I'm doing this. But what you want to do is try to spread a bunch of this solvent along the seam. And of course, you know, we're gonna patch this up and whatnot later, but you want to get enough in there. Sorry if it's a little dark. You just want to brush it along the seam and then push the two parts together. Okay, you want to push and try to close up that gap, and you can actually see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, sorry I don't have an expensive camera, you can actually see that it's melting the PLA, and it kind of like squirts out, and that's a great sign that it's obviously melting the material and joining it together. You really only need to hold it together for about maybe 15 seconds, and it's enough to hold those parts together. So look at that. I only really kind of did this sort of upper portion, and it's already joined it together, right? So you want to do that all the way around the whole seam. If there's gaps and stuff, don't worry about that right now. Just get the solvent in there so that it joins the parts, because you can always fill the seam after the fact. Here we go again. I'm just working the solvent along the seam, and it's going to kind of reinvigorate, I don't know, kind of boost the melted surface that you already kind of established when you first brushed on the two surfaces. So yeah, this process works really great. I really like it for gluing parts together. It's really strong. Again, if you need more work time or you need kind of a little bit more of a gap filling capability, I would use this sort of side grip Weld-On number 6. I think they changed their name, so it used to be called Weld-On and now it's called side grip. I don't know if another company bought it or something, but that's basically another material. Like if you need a little bit more time just to kind of put parts together. The issue with this is that it does create a little bit of a thickness in between. So if you have kind of like mechanical parts that need to fit together perfect, that's going to, you know, kind of like cause a little bit of thickness between your parts. So just be aware that that might happen. Okay, so yeah, just going to continue to work this around, and yeah, it'll be really solid. All right, so here we are. The part is completely solvent welded together. I literally just finished brushing it. I would honestly leave it for about an hour to kind of cure fully, because that is melted kind of PLA in there. And it's great. Again, when you brush it on, both parts, brush it along the seam, really push the joints together, really push the two parts together, and you'll see it like squish out. That really helps too, to kind of fill any gaps. But like, this is super solid. Again, I literally just finished brushing it on 15-20 seconds ago before I started recording, and it's already solid, right? Like, it's not going to fall apart if I drop it like here on the table. Give it about an hour for it to completely solidify. Now, of course, you can go in and sand the seam. You could use a soldering iron if there's parts that like are really kind of like bulged out or are uneven. If you want to melt filament in there, again, you can use a soldering iron or a like a wood burning tool or whatever to fill gaps, because you can kind of literally like sort of like weld it like you're a welder to fill gaps. I like to do that for parts that are really structural, or for cosplay things where you're using the actual print itself. If it's going to just be kind of like a prop or whatever, you can fill it with filler, lots of different kinds that you can use. But this is kind of my favorite way to glue stuff if possible, right? If you need a little bit more working time, CA glue is great, but it's not going to be as strong as this. All right, so I hope that helps you out. Some really cool products here. Again, from the Weld-On sort of side grip family. If you're going to a hobby, you can't find that stuff. You can't find, kind of more a bulk supply of methylene chloride. Again, crazy toxic stuff. It's got poison death symbols on it. Wear your respirator, wear your gloves, do all the safety things, because I don't think people talk about that stuff enough. And do this outside where there's ventilation. But see if you can find it in bulk. If you can't, side grip, Weld-On 3, 16, and number 6 for the gel kind of version. And then if you can't find that anywhere else, try a local hobby shop. They might have plastic weld, which is pretty much the same stuff too. All right, so I hope that helps you out with your gluing of 3D printed things. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.